Oh, that's right. You better be using premium in this bad boy.
What's up guys, it's me Eric B and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back at Flip My Cycle here in Fayetteville and I'm doing a first ride on this 2018 Suzuki Boulevard. The special thing about this Boulevard is that it's a B.O.S.S M109R, and in my opinion I think this is the nicest cruiser out of all the Japanese cruisers. So you have the Honda Fury and the Kawasaki Vulcan, and I think this thing just screams street presence when it's out there on the road. So real quick, just want to sit on it so you can see what I look like on the bike. If you're a taller rider, I'm 6'2", so looks pretty good. To me, it feels pretty good. So the only downside is the weight of this bike. Something like the Fury is about 680 pounds, give or take, and this one is well over 700. So just be aware if you're trying to move this thing around. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get this bad boy out on the road, see what it's all about, coming up.
All right, let's do this. All right, so exhaust is pretty quiet right off the start. This is the stock exhaust on here. We'll see what it sounds like once we get it out on the road. See if you guys can hear that. Right, so I always forget about the pegs when I ride these bikes, as I'm so used to riding sport bikes and kicking my feet back. I gotta keep remembering to put them forward. All right, so top 4 things: power, ergonomics, handling, and styling. Right off the bat, ergonomics so far, just sitting on it without riding it, feels pretty good. You know, your standard cruiser style setting, high handlebars, you're kind of sitting back on the seat. Seat is pretty comfortable, and we'll see how it is once we get it out on the road. Alright, first impressions, this thing is torquey, does have a lot of power. It's pretty typical of your cruiser style bikes. Alright, so this is a V-twin with 1,783 cc's. It's pushing out 125 horsepower and 118 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, tires aren't completely warmed up yet. But the handling on this, even though it's a heavy bike, like I said, it's about 765 pounds, I think. Alright, so you do have a lot of wind in your face. I feel a lot of wind right in here, a lot on my legs and everything, but that is typical of being on a cruiser. And right now we're doing about 75. The wind's not too bad, but I'm pretty sure once you get over 80, it's going to be hitting you in the face pretty good. Overall, cruising at this speed, the bike feels really good and planted. I mean, I feel like I'm in a recliner or something, you know, with wheels on it. I didn't even really notice I was going 70. I thought I was going slower than that. But that's just how good this bike feels in the comfort department. And like I said, cruisers are perfect for this type of riding, especially if you're going long distances. Man, the engine braking on this is rough. Alright, so overall impressions so far, not too bad. As far as the comfort, ergonomics, stuff like that goes, this thing is gets an A in my book on that. So looking at the gauges here, everything is pretty nicely laid out. I like how you got the little digital tack up here with a gear indicator, and then you got your speedometer right here on the tank. With that, you also get a fuel gauge, a clock, and your odometer. All right, so handling on this beast. So you always think, you know, a heavy bike is going to be harder to handle. Yes, when it's standing still, because this thing is over 700 pounds, it is a little heavy to move around. Not too bad if you know, you hit the gym every now and again. But just moving this thing around, it maneuvers pretty good to me. I know a lot of people hate the word flickable, apparently, so I'm just going to use the word good handling. All right, now that the engine's warmed up a little bit, I don't know how well you guys can hear the motor. Sounds pretty good. I think it sounds way better once you put an aftermarket exhaust on it, of course. All right, if you are, or if you're good with the throttle and everything, this does have a smooth takeoff. Power delivery is pretty linear, but it can be a bit jerky. And when the torque comes on, man, it comes on. It kick you in the chest. So we'll say this is a bigger bike if you're a smaller person to handle. As you can see right here, me just trying to maneuver it around. It is a heavy bike when it's when you're at a slower speed or at a standstill. But once you get going, it's not too bad. Holy moly, this thing has some crazy torque. 118 foot-pounds of torque, man, that'll do it. Dang. Pretty sure this thing is faster than my 600. Off the line, anyway. I think I reel them in, top end. Man, that's what these freaking bikes are for, man. They got that low-end torque, just kick you in the face. You better hold on. All right, let's talk about the styling. So, to me, this thing screams presence when it's on the road. It looks good. So you have the Honda Fury, that's another one that I liked, the Kawasaki Vulcan, stuff like that. And then, you know, you got things like Harley, Victory, what's another one, Indian, stuff like that. You know, if you don't want to go with those type of bikes and you want to stick with a Japanese cruiser just because they're cheaper, this thing looks amazing, hands down. So if you're looking for something, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, you know, you don't want a Harley or a Victory or Indian or something like that, and you're looking for a Japanese cruiser, I think the Suzuki is I think the Suzuki takes the cake. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of sport bikes and some of the nakeds, but if I had to go with a cruiser, my eye has definitely been on the Suzuki Boulevard. The engine, believe it or not, has a really good tone to it. It's not too loud. It's not like some of them where it's just kind of overbearing. When you get in it, you can hear it. It's not too crazy though. Like I said, it still has that stock exhaust on it, so I think if you upgrade that might change a little bit. But overall, the engine sounds pretty smooth. All your controls and everything and displays is all laid out very well. Simple, easy to use. Here's your horn, if you could even hear that. You got to think too, it's a Suzuki, so it should be pretty reliable and easy to work on, just like, you know, with your Gixxers and stuff like that. These bikes are bulletproof. Ever wonder why they call this thing the M109 Boss? Because you feel and look like a boss when you're riding it. Yeah, riding like Rick Ross on here, feeling like a boss. Hey, mind me just turning around. All right, so what are some of the things I don't like? So right off the bat is the weight, obviously. It's a really heavy bike, but like I said, once you're out on the road going, this thing feels light. Maybe the throttle is a little bit twitchy at times. You know, you hit a bump and it kind of jumps on you and stuff like that. But other than that, guys, I think this is a really good bike. It's solid. Man, this thing don't mess around. And keep a smile on your face, that's for sure. Oh, I forgot to mention that this is just a 5-speed and it is shaft driven. So wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. All right, guys, there you have it. That is the Suzuki Boulevard M109 Boss in a nutshell. This thing is awesome in terms of styling, power. It has it all. I love it. If you guys are looking for this bike, it is available at Flip My Cycle along with other awesome bikes. Be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.